Today, The Simpsons is known for its wacky antics, questionable cameos, with even the odd monster or two thrown in for good measure. But during its prime, the show was far more grounded. Sure, the characters did have 8 fingers, 8 toes, and yellow skin, but it was practically a looking glass into Middle America. And that's why the Treehouse of Horror episodes were so exciting. These specials were the perfect excuse to expose the supernatural to Springfield and its characters, without disrupting the show's canon. They even gave free rein to kill any character they wanted, and the gorier, the bloody better. Sometimes even brilliantly playing into the characters' relationships in the show, like Homer's dislike for Ned.
Dad, you killed the zombie Flanders!
He was a zombie?
But do not be mistaken into thinking that the Treehouse of Horror episodes are more than a violent free-for-all. Characters are also warped and reimagined as horror icons, from King Homer to Dracula Burns to Willie as Freddy Krueger. But even during its first few seasons, The Simpsons did occasionally allow the paranormal to seep its way into day-to-day life. Homer uncovered a giant spider lurking in the nuclear power plant, NASA kept highly intelligent chimps under wraps, and killer robots even ran amok in Itchy and Scratchy Land.
Ah! My hair!
Homer even inherited a haunted house from his great-uncle Boris, and the family's weekend trip got off to a blood-curdling start.
This place isn't...
These Golden Age haunts were usually left unexplained, but still pretty tame compared to what the future seasons had in store. So this brings me to the point of the video. We'll be uncovering the supernatural underbelly of Springfield and discussing all those ghouls, beasts and mysteries that you may be surprised to know are lurking in the show's actual canon.
Help, I need tungsten to live. Tungsten!
Count Dracula. This Transylvanian bloodsucker was the first true monster to ever appear on the show. Appearing in Sideshow Bob Roberts, Dracula was introduced as a member of the Republican Party, attending a meeting in the spookiest headquarters imaginable. Dracula's initial appearance was as a Nosferatu-style creature, quietly drinking his glass of blood and not returning until season 13, where by this point he received a makeover to resemble Bela Lugosi.
I say we crack down on the hippies. Blah!
Each appearance further exposed him as the black sheep of the Republicans. His contributions were limited to offers of blood-sucking and bat transformations, but he couldn't even complete the simplest task of feeding his allies.
Oh, you couldn't even get our pizza orders right.
Every order is half this, half that. It's confusing.
It's also worth pointing out they introduced his fellow members to Frankenstein's monster, renamed after their idol, Ronald Reagan.
My good friend Frankenstein is now Franken-Reagan. Blah!
Dracula's backstory does remain a mystery up until this point. But where Mr. Burns is concerned, it's not surprising he has many friends who share his evil and despicable interests. Aliens. Extraterrestrials have landed into Springfield several times now. Maybe it's got something to do with all the nuclear activity, perhaps it's the town's widespread ignorance that makes it oh so inviting, or maybe, just maybe, they just want to have a good time. Like number 51. Not much is known about this alien right here, but the stonecutters did reveal that it's from Mars, and its cover-up is just one of the Society's secret schemes.
Who leaves Atlantis off the maps?
Who keeps the Martians under wraps?
It appears 51 is a friendly visitor, unlike the creature seen hiding in an Air Force hangar with his probe at the ready. Springfieldians that are wise to alien encounters never seem too bothered by their presence. A wrench-shaped alien even landed a job as a mascot for shop.
It's not a costume. They found me inside a meteor.
But strangely, the wrench-shaped alien wasn't the only one to crash land into Springfield inside a meteor. Professor Frink also met a small being outside the observatory, but his excitement was dampened by the alien's blunt rejection.
Shut up.
It's doubtful that anyone would have believed Professor Frink anyway, especially as no one believed Homer's notorious alien sighting in Season 8's The Springfield Files.
So I'll just type it up on my invisible typewriter.
He, however, did catch the attention of the X-Files Mulder and Scully, where they showed Homer a lineup of famous aliens like Marvin the Martian, Gort, Chewbacca, Alf, and Kang. However, unlike the others on this list, this particular episode's canon status is dubious at best.
Oh, this makes me very angry.
Under the Sea. Debate remains as to when precisely The Simpsons' golden age ended, but by season 10, the show already resorted to a certain mythical sea serpent from Scotland.
God, it's him!
Worried about his dismal public image, Mr. Burns recruited Homer to help boost his popularity, and after a series of failures, Burns took the next logical step, proving the existence of the Loch Ness Monster. He fought tooth and nail and finally got the beast to Springfield to unveil its existence. It even got Selma eyeing up her new hubby.
Single? Well, he passes the Selma test.
However, in a twist of King Kong, Nessie loved the media. But Mr. Burns was blinded by it, accidentally setting fire to the stage. But the bright lights that Nessie had made for herself only got brighter, finding her calling as a Vegas casino host.
Come on, Nancy, one more pull. Okay.
Now, it does seem that a lot of these mythological monsters and beings do have a direct link to Mr. Burns, and I don't think that's a coincidence at all. One of the most iconic animals from him and in the show is Blinky, the three-eyed fish who first debuted all the way back in season 1. And like a Pokemon creature, the next step in iconic Blinky's evolution was revealed to be Gillman, inspired by Creature from the Black Lagoon. And Bart and Milhouse's carefree attitude when seeing him suggested that they had encountered him before. It's unknown how long the creature had been lurking in Springfield's river, but it's hardly surprising. Mr. Burns' reckless disregard for the environment is well documented. I mean, his toxic drums did create laser-eyed squirrels. What is crazy is that he's not the only amphibian man in town, with the Shape of Water's peculiar star hiding underneath the floorboards of Lisa's bedroom. Deep underground. The Simpsons made some of its biggest leaps into the fantasy world with season 11. When Homer became depressed after his stint as Springfield's Flavor of the Month came to an end, a bungee jump with Otto exposed secret civilizations living deep underground. Living under the town are creatures called the Morlocks, the Chuds, as well as the Mole People. This discovery begs to question, is Hans Moleman really part of a secret underground society? If you want to know more about this theory, I've actually done an entire video deep diving into it. And even though creepy, wrinkly, and oh so icky, the Mole People weren't likely to hurt you. But the magical jockey elves, they were something different.
We'll eat your brain.
Saddle Saw Galactica is derided as perhaps the worst episode ever. The Simpsons really jumped the shark with the surreal tale of sword-wielding elves who lived in a magical underground realm. Their only source of pride was their jockey careers, so they didn't take too kindly to Homer and Bart's racing success with Furious D. Ignoring the threats in their lives, the Simpsons did win the Springfield Derby anyway, outsmarting the elves with the spray of a garden hose.
Go get me a trash bag.
Creepy candy. It seems that Maud was right. Even sugar has a dark side.
No sugar.
Cam Fudgler is a breakfast cereal mascot who testified in Marge's crusade to ban sugar in Springfield. And despite suffering from gingivitis due to years of addiction, the Count couldn't stop himself from joining Homer in smuggling the white gold back into town.
I'm a monster. Don't look at me.
It's unclear whether or not Count Fudgler is actually a vampire or simply a guy in a costume, but even still, he did refer to his struggle consuming victims with his fang dentures.
Now all my victims have to be mashed up.
But strangely, this cereal mascot isn't the only candy-associated creature in Springfield. Marge's conflict with the mother-loving sugar company revealed that Oompa Loompas were employed at the factory, and in reality, they were treated like slaves with absolutely no interest in creepy musical numbers. Monsters at Christmas. Recent seasons can't seem to let a holiday go without the supernatural rearing its head. One of the most common creatures is O'Reilly the Leprechaun, who made a slightly different cameo as Ralph's imaginary friend in season 9.
Burn the house down.
Burn them all!
This leprechaun was supposedly in Ralph's imagination, but he may have based his arson-loving friend on the real creature, who made his proper debut in Treehouse of Horror 12. This mischievous creature did eventually become a canon citizen of Springfield, later appearing in several episodes, and whenever he's on screen, he's incapable of staying out of a fight. Whether it was baiting Santa's little helper or brawling with his Northern Irish doppelganger, he even attacked Homer and Bart inside the Loch of the Irish wishing well. But in fairness, they were on his turf. The Simpsons family came across another mythical creature during what they thought was the Chinese New Year parade. The colourful dragon was quickly subdued by animal control, which apparently happens a whole lot in Springfield's Chinatown.
People buy them when they're small and cute, then they flush them down the toilet.
Shrugging off a dragon sighting was yet another sign that the townspeople generally just don't care anymore. Gone are the days of killing aliens just for bringing a bit of love.
It's bringing love. Don't let it get away.
Break its legs.
And it wouldn't be Christmas without a green monster trying to steal it. The Grumple is one of the strangest creatures to become a regular fixture of the latter-day Simpsons.
Grumpily, grumpily, groo. Your blood will make my stew.
This Grinch parody performed in Krusty's Christmas on Ice and quickly ran afoul of Homer. The Grumple tracked down his attacker, but their second fight didn't end too well, and his oozing green blood revealed that he wasn't just an actor in costume.
What the hell is this thing?
Nevertheless, showing the true side of Christmas, the Grumple put aside his homicidal tendencies the following year and brought his family to spend the holiday with the Simpsons. And it wasn't too long before the Grumple was back on the ice rink, although he doesn't have the best luck. But to his credit, he's one of the more sociable monsters, known to dance the night away at Christmas parties and even making a supernatural friend with the leprechaun in the Are They Reals bowling team. Now those guys, you've got to admire their humour. The family's vacations have also veered onto the supernatural side. Their flight from Japan suffered a minor inconvenience when Godzilla grabbed hold of the plane. Oh yeah, and Bigfoot was casually seen riding a bus to Toronto. So when you're next watching an episode of The Simpsons or even going about your daily life and you spot a monster, it's probably for the best to act like a good little Springfieldian and just ignore it.